I began earlier to teach about the paying clients. Paying clients. And one of the first things you need to understand about the paying clients is who they are. It's impossible to do business with them if you do not know who they are. Are you getting me? Now, to do that is you have to begin with understanding the word lead, usually called prospects. The first thing we're going to be doing now,
noted,
is this. To define a lead, there are specific questions you need answers to. Are you with me? Very specific questions you need answers to. I answered those questions in our previous class. Very specific questions you need answers to. First thing you need to understand, you need to ask yourself, what is the problem really? What is the problem your value is supposed to solve? And you know, it always seems so obvious what the problem is. Like if you have a product that is used for cancer people, it just seems very obvious that it's just for cancer people. It always seems so obvious. Now, like you ask somebody, what is the problem your value is supposed to solve? The person will just blatantly tell you, especially if like the product that is used for ulcer, alkali, the one that product that is used by cancer, ulcer patients, also anybody who is suffering from ulcer. It seems obvious that is what the solution is supposed to solve, but that is never the solution. Because listen, I said this, it is not that name ulcer is medical jargon, is the word used in the medical field. The person who have that problem don't know that shit, because when you go into the market, you're going to know this. If there are 100% of buyers, 100% of the market, that's people who have the problem, I'm going to tell you this, that 3% of them are the only people among these 100% that know they have problem, understands the risk, are searching for solution, actively. So when you showed up, and this is deception, when you showed up, they instantly went for the price. How much is it? When can I get it? Bam, and they paid, and you felt like, man, I get him. But this is only 3% of the market. Chances that you will meet them is very thin, especially because you will never have enough money to go through the 100% just to meet the 3%. It is crazy. And that is kind of like the system used in network marketing, you know. They will tell you, go prospect 100 people. By chance, 10 persons will come to your presentation. Maybe one of them will sign up. You know, because they are trying to target this 3%. People who already know they have problem, understand the risk, and are actively searching for solution. Are you getting it now? And are actively searching for solution. They are actually, you met them at the point where they were already looking for the solution. Are you getting me? Probably they have even they already know the name. So, because if they are actively searching for solution, they already know that the problem is ulcer. But that is only 3% of the industry. There's another percentage of the paying customer called 37%. This percentage knows they have problem, understands the risk, may or may not be searching for the solution. If they are searching for it, they're searching for it passively. And they're searching for it passively. That's to say, even though they know they have a problem, even though they understand the potential risk, I get it. For some reason, they're not actively searching for the solution because they have found a way to manage, to be able to work around the problem, to be able to survive with the problem. I get it. Maybe because they have some valid logical reasons why. This percentage, and then there's the 60%. 60% of the market do not even know they have the problem. They do not. They have no idea they have a problem, which makes it something very important for you to have this answer. Just because it will seem obvious that whatever you have as a product is solving a particular problem doesn't make it an answer. It doesn't. Just saying, when you want to define the lead, you just say the problem is, let's say you say the problem is ulcer, because they have told you, the company told you that this product is supposed to solve that problem. Maybe now that is true, but because we're trying to define the lead, you may want to understand this problem really. When we wanted to answer this question, we went online and searched. In the day we did that and searched, asked the question, what are the experiences or symptoms? You're going to want to find the problem in terms of experiences. Also, in terms of symptoms, rather than medical terminologies. Please pardon me, network is terrible. All right, so I was saying, to define the lead, we tend to begin to answer certain kinds of questions. By the time you finish the question, you have the definition of who your ideal lead is called. Ideal client. I like to call it prospect, but because of that orientation they give us typically, when you say prospect, you will find a bunch of people who have certain assumptions that are not true. The first assumption is that everybody is their client. Their first assumptions is that everybody is their client. They will tell you everybody on your contacts, their friend, the friend of their friend. If you go online, you have thousands of friends, and they have friends. You know the way they do it for you. So they tend to tell you that you have abundance of friends. Thank God you do. I get me, but everybody's not. The word prospect, the reason why we're using lead is because the word prospect tends to come with a lot of assumptions that we're still going to correct. A prospect, I get me, everyone is not your prospect. That's the first assumption that is wrong about the word prospect. Second one is this: you have limited resources. You do not have all the time, all the money, all the energy, all the emotional, positive energy and stuff like that to bombard these people. And they also tell you that if they are rejecting you, it's because they do not understand your business. It's a lie. They're never going to do business with you. If they are rejecting you, it's because they are not your ideal client, which is based off the fact that assumption is based from the first one that everybody's on. That they do not understand. It's because they do not understand. That's why. Okay. When they finally understood, did they still continue with the business? How many of them continued? All right. Are you getting me? So to define your ideal client, we begin by answering certain questions. What is the problem? What is the problem? Your value or product, whatever, value, maybe service, whatever, is supposed to solve. It may seem obvious, but you might want to not use the obvious answer. If it's supposed to be solving cancer or ulcer, you might want to not write it down. I want you to go find out those problems in terms of their experience, in terms of symptoms. I hope I got it. In terms of symptoms, in terms of signs, rather than medical titles. Because, like I said, the market is 100%, but that 100% is broken into 3%, 37%, and 60%. 3% of the market knows they have a problem, understand the risk, are actively chasing a solution. Now, those are the people that you are going to meet and you have few resistance. They will just tell you how much is it going to cost. When can you deliver it? Send it to me. You're not even going to have any, you're not even going to say any simple, you're not even going to argue in any way with them or convince them. It almost seems like it's automatic. You'll be shocked. Are you getting me? This is 3% of the market. Now, this is why these people, it's exactly the reason why in network marketing, that's why I want us to avoid the word prospect in this particular lecture. In network marketing, they will tell you, if you can find 100 people, 10 of them will come for meeting. Now, 2 out of the 10 will probably join your business. Now, that system is designed to find a certain kind of people. I get him. It's designed to find this percentage. That is the problem. Now, because it requires you to go through the bunch just to go through the 100% of the market just to find the 3%. That's if that bunch is even the market. That's another problem. It may not be the problem. It may not be the market. Secondly, they are trying to get you to go through 100% just to find 3%. That's crazy, man. Very, very, very crazy. I do not suggest you do it that way, because if you do it that way, you tend to forget that you are working with limited resources. It took me a whole lot to understand this word, limited resources. It took me a lot. It took me 3.5 million and above to understand that anything that you have today will become a limited resource. Even if they are abundant, they will become a limited resources as soon as there is purpose. Purpose will expose everything you have as a limited resources. I tell you, you had no reason to build up all this positive energy until you had positivity. I get me now. Until you decided to do business. It was when you decided to do business, that's when you discover that your positive energy that used to take you through the day was no longer enough. You needed to be coming up with more. Muster it up every time. Why? Because as soon as purpose comes in, everything becomes limited. I'm telling you the truth. That's kind of like the way this world works. Are you getting it now? That's the way this world works. As soon as there is purpose, you will then find that things are limited, especially resources. So I want to teach you a way to approach these paying clients so that you can be able to attend to the 100% of the market. Are you getting me? So we begin by the problem. What is the problem in terms of the experiences, in terms of symptoms, in terms of signs? Now, when we search for because somebody in the class said, I asked somebody to pick a product, let's sell that particular product. So when she picked a product from her shelf, I said, okay, now since you picked that product, let me show you how we begin. Okay, let me finish with all of the questions we need to ask before we dive into the questions online. Okay, what the problem is, what the solution is. What the solution is in terms of experience, symptoms, and signs. Why is this thing very important? Why do I keep hammering on this? It's because, like I told you, the market do not really understand those. They are not. Remember, you're not selling this product to doctors. Are you getting me? Now, most of the market is going to do their research. This is that 3%, and know these things for real. Are you getting me? They are going to tend to do the research and understand these things like a doctor would. So you're not dealing with, you're trying to make sales as fast as possible to as many people as possible. You can't be saying that your solution is alkaline, whatever. Who cares, man? The 3% cares, the rest of the market do not. Are you getting me? They simply want something that would counter the experiences they are currently having, the symptoms they are currently having, and the signs that they are currently seeing. Are you getting me? They just want something that will counter it. Whatever it is called is not really their business. I don't know who made you to care about them, the color, the package, and stuff like that. When you should go into understanding what the solution really is to the people who are going to spend money having it. What the solution is in terms of experiences, symptoms, and signs. Then the next question you need to answer is very simple. Who is money being spent on this problem? Are people spending money already to solve this problem? Because no matter what you have to sell, it is not new to the market. It is the problem it is supposed to solve is already there. It cannot be, there's no way people create products when there is no problem. So since there is already, the problem is already existing before the product came, that means people are already spending before you actually came up with your product. So are people already spending? Now, because of the sake of time, I want to give you guys this understanding myself. First understanding, the problem is this. When we dive into the problem, we saw stomach ache, we saw vomiting, we saw not being able to sleep, we saw pains, we saw all kinds of things. We're talking about a product that answers the solution to, answers ulcer. So we saw all kinds of things, man. And then we're reading directly from the people who are actually having the problem. It's not like I'm going online and going to see a doctor tell you what the problem will look like. People who have never had the problem themselves. Are you getting me? A pharmacist or something, or a blogger who is trying to make money. We went to where the people who have this problem are actually talking. I've told you before, you might want to always go to where the consumers are actually talking. And we heard from them right there and there. We read some of the things that, crazy things they feel, like crazy. The fact that, so when we began to listen to the problem, we saw 3 categories of problem anyway. Physical problem. Physical. The problem was physical first. Then it was mental. We also saw it was financial. When we went there and was listening to all they were saying, we saw that the problem of ulcer is physical in terms of pains and vomiting and all kinds of other physical experiences. We also saw that it was mental. Why? Because the problem itself implies that you literally find it hard doing a lot of outdoor activities. You will find it hard doing anything that involves outdoor activities. Which means you are going to almost become an introvert. That's number one, or become socially awkward, which is a very heavy mental demand on somebody that is a youth and somebody who has a lot of responsibilities, like a parent. Are you getting me? Because majority of them were parents. That's number one. A lot of them too. Okay, we'll get to that. A lot of them too were parents. We also discovered a lot of them were had the problem starting from when they were at home, which means that okay, we'll get to that. So it was mental. So they had this mental issue because it was affecting them from doing what needs to be done for them to live the best life they can possibly have. When your lifestyle is tampered with, it's crazy. It's a very crazy situation. Then we saw it was financial. That was what was very shocking when we saw that it was financial. How was it financial? When we looked at it, we discovered that on an average, a household spends 25% of their budget, their monthly income, on medical attention, medical medical something. I get it, medical something. You get, on an average, monthly, they spend 25% of their income on medical something. Then we now saw, because we saw that the first thing we saw was that in every 10 person, 1 person is going to have ulcer in their lifetime. That's a very crazy statistics. Nigeria is about 200 million, which means 20 million of Nigerian citizens are going to suffer from ulcer in their lifetime. That's a huge market. Trust me, very massive market. Very massive market. That's number one. And okay, now because on an average, families spend 25% of their income on medical, whatever. Now, especially to manage medical issues, not to cure it, because most sicknesses are not even curable. They're just things you manage. Now, we now saw that when anybody in the family begins to suffer from ulcer, their income, the percentage of the income they spend on medical something rises. I mean, not just for families, but anybody. I get it. Their percentage of the percentage of the income that goes into medical something rises from 25 to 70% to 75%. It was so crazy, the statistics. Rises from 25 to 70% of their budget on a monthly basis. I mean, especially people who also saw that the sickness comes in stratas who have aggressive, people who have aggressive symptoms, mild symptoms, and soft symptoms. I get me. Delayed. Those kind of people, it's not aggressive, it's not mild, it just rises when it comes to the extremes. I get me. Now, these are things we found out about these people. So it informed us that these people are already spending money. We saw how much they were spending too. They were spending up to all the way from $200 to $20,000. To $20,000. It was shocking. So which means it's even a profitable something. Now, why am I teaching this? Well, the major reason I'm teaching this is this. If you're going to really be successful in network marketing, I'm telling you the truth now, you need to pick 6 to 12 products of your company. Now, you cannot play the game I play. I get me. You may not be able to play the game I play, but you need to choose 6 to 12 products of your company that you absolutely believe in. If you don't have one product you believe in your company, you might want to buy some of these products and give it out to somebody that it was said that he can help them, and see what it does for them, so you can believe it. I get it. But you need to have 6 to 12 of these products that you literally believe in. Minimum of 6, maximum of 12. I get it. Select them, because that will be the primary way we drive you into the market. I get it. We are going to make you experts in the solution that those problem offers. I get it. We're going to get that. We're going to make you experts in that. You cannot neglect these products, but you